What's good, YouTube? LTTV Combat Sports Talk. And before I get started with the video, for those that may be new to the channel, I do content on boxing and mixed martial arts. If that's the type of content that you're into, feel free to hit that sub button. Now, in this video, I'm going to speak on the Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira fight. Now, as a lot of you may know, they fought twice, and the third fight should be happening sometime this year. However, one Stephen Wonderboy Thompson gave his breakdown on how the fight could potentially play out. He stated the following: both guys haven't changed a lot dramatically when it comes to their stand-up. Thompson said, "This is MMA. Anything can happen. Anybody can look for a takedown. You've also got to go into the fight thinking that as well. You got to prepare for that." Do I think Alex Pereira is going to look for a takedown? No, I don't think that's going to. I think this fight is going to stay standing. I think it's going to be a classic Muay Thai fight, including the elbows and more knees. I think it's going to be a great fight. No matter what, I want to see this fight. Who else is Izzy going to fight but Alex Pereira? These guys have history together. This is the only guy to put Izzy to sleep. I think they've got to run it back a third time. Third time's a charm. Izzy's got to win it. That's how I see it. End quote. Now, me personally, that fight is an interesting fight because of the history that they have and because of the fact that Pereira did knock Izzy out and had him unconscious to the point where Izzy needed oxygen to regain consciousness after the fact. But both guys have improved, in my opinion. Both guys have improved a lot as far as their stand-up. And Pereira, in his global kickboxing fights that I did watch, he was giving dudes the business. Standing, knocking dudes out with his infamous left hand. So he really was doing damage in glory before he transitioned to MMA and signed with the UFC. And Izzy, as we all know, he came in the game just on a tear. And when he got his first few wins and started winning them in dominant fashion, you knew that Izzy was going to be a big name in middleweight. And you knew that it was only a matter of time before he became the middleweight champ. And, you know, Izzy, he's been doing this thing for a good minute now. And this fight with Pereira is going to show whether or not, you know, Izzy has, I say, mentally gotten over that. Because when you do get knocked out in that sort of fashion, mentally it can take a toll on you, and you may have some mental lapses, and you know, you may start to get into bad habits and things like that. But I'm sure City Kickboxing in New Zealand, where Izzy he trains at, I'm almost certain that he's gonna go into that fight a little bit more smarter and a little bit more wiser, because Izzy has been in the UFC a little longer. So I honestly believe that I believe Izzy will get it done. Pereira is no one to sleep on because his stand-up game is very deadly, and if he catches you with that left hand, you will go to sleep. And when his fight against Sean Strickland, it proved just that. You know, Strickland was kind of an idiot, in my personal opinion, to even try to stand with someone who's well decorated and accomplished in kickboxing as Alex Pereira. That fight was pretty much a knockout waiting to happen. If Strickland chose to stand up with him, he chose to do that, which was a big mistake, and he got caught. But in Izzy's case, Izzy won't make the same mistake Strickland did because of their two previous fights in the past. Now, a fight can go really one or two ways. Izzy can stop Pereira. Pereira can knock Izzy the fuck out. it just can go one of those two ways because they both know each other very well. And because they know each other so well, I think it may be a tit for tat sort of fight where both will fight pretty hesitant after like the first round or two. And then after the cobwebs are kind of shaking off, by that third round, the fourth round of that fight, that's when things can get kind of hot and heavy, to be honest with you. But the fight can end early within those first two rounds. It just depends who comes out effectively aggressive, if that makes sense to any of you. And someone who's also not fighting very reckless. So whoever is the more effective, smart fighter that night will come out with the W. I have Adesanya winning against Pereira the third time around. But Pereira, he's no one to take lightly because of the fact that he has a knockout victory over Adesanya in years past. So you have to consider that too. And I look forward to seeing that fight. If and when the fight is official, people are going to be having their predictions and etc. about the fight, and many are already giving their predictions already. Wonderboy Thompson, myself, and plenty others in the MMA community are going to be chomping at the bit when this fight is actually announced sometime in the fall, to be honest with you. But whenever the fight actually happens, it's going to be explosive. It's going to be talked about, and people are going to want to see it, and ultimately they're going to end up watching it. Before I conclude this video, my question for you guys is, who you think wins the fight? And who do you believe will make the smart adjustments? I ask those questions because I'm curious to how you guys feel about this fight, and I would like to get you guys' opinions on it because it's a good fight, and ultimately, it's gonna be a fight that many will be talking about for a good minute. And that's going to conclude this video. If you liked and enjoyed it, hit that like, that sub button, hit that bell, and click also. You never miss any of my videos, and you will see all of my notifications. LTtvCombatSportsTalk. I'm out of here. Peace.